We're back. That's not the task. I'll get back to non-local forage whenever. Okay. Oh, look at that. I didn't even realize that I'd already cloned polyfill. What did I clone polyfill for? Because I'm brilliant, that's why. So let's see. Let's grab audio encoder FLAC. I just remembered. Did I? Yeah. I love me. I love myself. I'm a great person. Boy, howdy, do I not want any of that crap. GitHub? Hello? GitHub? There it is. Really? I'm not logged into GitHub? That's pretty annoying. Let me go ahead and switch to a different screen. And there we go. We're safe. Okay, maybe I'll leave it. Maybe I'll leave it here. I have like 3 Van Whitman. Yay! Okay, anyway, that actually wasn't the biggest problem. The problem I'm actually trying to support, so let's start with audio encoder FLAC, for example. Oh, so I do some work or something. Wait. So what was the actual problem here? Oh, yeah, okay. Yep. Shouldn't be unpackaged anyway. Not nowadays. Okay. So that's actually quite easy to fix. Cool. I like things that are easy to fix. First off, let's install as a dependency a version of libav.js that's from this century. It's not quite that bad. Should I announce these streams on Discord? I feel like nobody would care. It's actually a dev dependency. Like, I feel like my Discord crowd is not the same crowd. Okay, so we got 4.10.6. Right, I actually just want to change this to be a different CDN. How does this work? I think it's /npm libav.js libav.js at 4.10.6. Something like that. Well, that isn't it. It's, of course, jsdliver.net, because of course it is to content delivery networks as Grindr is to dating. Remember, anytime you see R at the end without an E, that means they're trying to be like Grindr. 100% of the time, that is what it always means. All right, but I don't. Let's see which. I'm using open media. Okay. So let's use. Variant open media. Why? Why did you do a search for that? Why did you do a Google search for that? That was madness. What the hell did I just do? Okay. That's the dist directory, and that's the script. But now the issue is if I'm in a worker, I want to do it this way. probably want... Do I need to consider the module case? I don't think so. Let's not consider the module case. So that should be the only place. Oh, yeah. Okay, fine. You can have both. Ooh, that's still very angry. Let's see, what are you so angry about? Oh, it actually doesn't want me to use both, I guess. Let's see. I think what I do is I leave in the DOM. Always prefer a DOM. Hello, Joshua. Okay, that's fine. I am fine. My condition does not change with the passing of time. If I add a, you know what I should do is unknown. That should do it. Right, and I just want to... If they're not going to let me make this script work in both the obvious way, then I'll just force it. That ought to do it. There we go. Okay, so now what I need to do to properly test this is two things. First of all, yeah, this version is now changed, so I should probably make sure I know that. This is, you know, probably something I shouldn't mention, you know, in a public setting like a stream, but boy howdy, the person who made this request, who posted this issue, did not read any documentation, did not know anything. Okay. I don't think there's anywhere else where I load in libav.js. I don't know why there would be, yeah. So in fact, it's already working in a worker, and the way to test that it's working correctly is literally just to not do this, just to force the matter. Oh wait, except that I'm separately using libav, aren't I? Yes. Okay, never mind. That's not the way to force it. How do I effectively test this? I mean, I guess the simplest is I just make an utterly pointless little worker script. Oh, and I guess I should actually, like, initialize it. That would be good. This is the bit of documentation that that person should have read. Which actually doesn't. You know what? I'm redeeming that person. They're absolutely right, because the situation they're using it in, this doesn't apply. Never mind. That person might have read the documentation. So how do I want to? Okay. Right. What I was actually doing was, how about no, Joshua? I vote no on that. Because everybody wants the dulcet tones. It's my sexy voice that people are after. I mean, I can't. So, Joseph, I actually do agree with you, but every time I post an issue and it turns out I just didn't read the documentation, I feel very stupid. So usually by the time I'm posting an issue, I go back and but again, I had to go back and redeem this person because the documentation did not cover the case that they were actually loading it in. So it could very well be that I had a case of the stupids. Although they also, said that they wanted it for AAC support, and it does say quite clearly here, it's generally easy to add new codecs to libav.js and libav.js WebCodecs polyfill. However, there are no plans to add any codecs by the misanthropic patent extortion gang, MPEG, so all useful codecs in the WebCodecs codec registry are supported. And sincerely, MPEG can go fuck themselves. They are the worst. Right, what was I doing? Yes, okay. So that's, I think, is all I actually need to just very quickly test this. And then I am making a totally invalid JavaScript file, not even bothering with HTML head body anything, and yet I was still going to type script type equals text JavaScript. Was making the smallest test file ever, and yet I was still gonna bother with that. And literally, I should just be able to do this. That's it. That's my test. Yeah, I'll bet it's in Quirks mode. And then just to make sure it did actually do something, it didn't actually do something. Oh, I think it actually did. It's just the worker wasn't being used, so it went away. Yep. That loaded. Yep. That is definitely the only place that uses that, so nothing else is going to matter. MP4 is a MPEG standard. Yes, Joseph. MPEG is MPEG is a cabal masquerading as a standards organization. To call them a standards organization gives them vastly more credit than they deserve. But they are a cabal, sometimes effectively masquerading as a standards organization. And they did originate as a standards organization. Like, late 1980s, early 1990s, MPEG was even, I would even go so far as to say they were a force for good. But, yeah, by now, no. Straight up evil. Right, I was just looking for where this uses document and why. Oh, okay, so this is fine. This is fine. Great, okay. So even in that context, that should be fine. In which case, I did not actually make any changes to this and probably don't need to update its header. And that's, by the way, Joseph, that's not even particularly a complaint about the quality of their codecs. It's their patent practices that are straight up evil. Okay. Just doing a quick check that everything I did makes sense. Everything I did makes sense. Thou not. You know what? Let me check one thing real quick. Yeah, okay. Get Payush. Ooh, you're gonna get to see something real exciting, I think. Have I set this up for NPM publish? Because this needs to be published immediately. Like that's a sufficient fix that I should publish it immediamento, version bump, publish. So let's see if I even have that set up on this system, and if not, another login step. Yay! So here's my habit for doing NPM releases. Go into a separate directory, make sure it builds from scratch without any weird local anything, then publish there. I mean, everything is someone else's issue, Joshua. I don't even know what that means. No. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and log in. Obviously, this is another login step, so gonna switch the screen. You know, sometimes you gotta recode the universe. Oh, jeez, I remembered you can't even hear me in that window. Ah, I'm still talking and you can't hear me. I don't have it set up. Okay. I need a dev hour specific, online but not showing anything, scene. That was just logging in. That's all I was doing. I was just logging in, but I'm also an imbecile, so... No, not Chrome, you massive turd. No one said you could be Chrome. Okay, I gotta figure out why Chrome decided it was okay to make itself the default. No, it's about preferences. That's it. It is the default browser. So what? So what? NPM is just like, no. I don't care what your default browser is. I prefer Chrome because I'm a turd. What is happening? What is happening here? Okay, but actually, like, what is anything? What is anything? What is going on? What is anything? I don't know why that worked. I don't know why nothing else worked. Nothing makes sense anymore. Let's actually... Look at how I pasted a giant string and GitHub was clever enough to figure out I really just meant to link that. Okay. Tell you what, as stupid as it is, I am going to take just a moment of this time to actually make this other scene. I need like an online scene that is just a specific online scene for Dev Hour. And all I need to do for that is take away this. There we go. It doesn't actually, like, explain what this scene is, but now I can at least take away the actual video anytime I want, which is sometimes necessary. It's red! It's the power of red! I think it's time to get back to non-local forage. The nightmare red scene. I'm going to go refill my drink so my eyes will pop out of my head for just a moment. In this particular streaming mode, you can... By the way, how is my microphone? Just out of curiosity. Because this is not the microphone with which I stream. This is just like a headset mic. But I find it's surprisingly decent. It's not, you know, it's nowhere near as good as, like, my proper XLR mic. But I think for a headset mic, it's, like, way better than I would have expected it to be. I realize this is going to be a long drink-getting process, so I'm going to come back in and check. Audio is good. Everybody's happy with it. You're right, it is a watermelon shirt. Literally never occurred to me It was just like green and pink is the combination. You're right. Green and pink, particularly with the tie, which is the inner part being pink, and the shirt, which is the outer part being green. That's a watermelon, is what that is. Listen to my soda stream. Not sponsored. Yeah, I am. So I shouldn't like advertise the brand, but I'm going to. This is a Razer headset, and I like my previous one. The microphone was like certainly sufficient for voice chat, but you wouldn't want to use it for anything else. This, I feel like, it's not like the best mic you can get, but if you were just starting to stream and wanted something that was good enough, it's a pretty good mic. Right. So let's continue with non-local forage. Now, I had a thought last time as I was developing this, which is I'm not sure if I want the actual interface to only be local forage. I think I might want to try and make it so that you can just treat it like a file system. Although, man, you know what? Never mind. I've already changed my mind. I don't want to do that. Okay. So in setting an item, there is an issue that if the file already exists, then you're in a weird place. And in the initial load, there is the issue that I would like it to be in some weird subdirectory rather than just your root directory. Because I change my mind with such incredible speed? Is that the reason, Joshua? Okay, so what I'm going to do is... Oh, God. I hate naming things like util, but I don't know what else to name this. I need a way of choosing a directory to put things in on the cloud that is actually not cloud specific. Like, it's always going to use the same kind of directory indices. So. And you can specify like sub repos in local forage, so I need to remember how that works. Go to the docs. Just send me to the docs. It's just name. I guess it's just name. That's easy. But there's like name and store, right? Is there? Create store. Store? Did I imagine this? Multiple stores. So I can have name and store name. That's very strange. Multiple stores that point to the same instance? What does that mean? Are these the same? Are they not the same? Neighbor database. It's store. It's a store of the current instance. So there must be some default store name that is needlessly confusing, but I think I understand. Actually, I can do this much easier. And that's the only util. Needed a whole new file for those 4 lines. Did I put load script here? Load script very much belongs in util. And that gives me an excuse to have something other than a single function in util. List files? Can I list things? I would like to list things, please. Listing would be fantastic. Gather. It can't be gather user information. Manage files and directories. No, I will not call them that word. Can I do more than populate? Can I list? Can I list? Please let me list things. What's stupid is the quick start had list. The quick start did list files, but like I would like the full docs, please. Is it search? They've labeled it search. They've labeled list as search. I hate Google. It's so dumb. Okay. And yet, because of course they don't have JavaScript there, I'm going to come back here and use this to figure it out. Christ. That's, for the time being, probably enough to start with. I don't like that page size. That feels like a real small page size. search for files and folders. Literally not what I'm doing. Thanks. Thanks for doing whatever that was. I see. Okay, so if there is a next page token, what I actually want to do is move this functionality and just have an async function file list, which obviously will need arguments at some point, but for the time being. And then, of course, I can do multiple steps if I need to. Could you, like, tell me what the range of page size is? Is that too much to ask? That you could, like, tell me how big this is allowed to be? No? Fine. Documentation. How can it be this bad? Like, actually, how can it be this bad? Okay, for the time being, I'm just gonna console.log that. And I'm gonna hope that since I only gave it access to its own files, this is not going to reveal everything that I have in my drive. Just gonna break for now. How do I build this? That's right, because I haven't even made a complete build script yet. I'm just calling it temp. Oops, that ain't right. Missing script, says Joshua, of something. Joseph, I am very much a back-end. Well, no, you know what? I have no idea where I don't know what I am. Like, I wrote libav.js, which is a port of the FFmpeg like C libraries to the web. And I like this is very low level stuff, but it's my web port of it, so like I consider myself oh no, you do not you do not speak ill of FFmpeg in this house, Joshua. You know you do not speak ill of FFmpeg in this stream. So like I'm a classic Unix hacker who's just sort of found myself in webland accidentally. I actually genuinely like TypeScript because it is relentlessly practical. This is an FFmpeg house, Joshua. You do not you do not speak ill of our Lord. I want to redock this. As always, this is going to require me to log in again, and I don't know why. I'll worry about that later. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, that's working. Dot result. I feel like this actually isn't... Yeah, this isn't revealing anything. So it is response dot result, and probably somewhere else there would be, yeah, response.result.files, and I imagine that there would be it didn't even give me... Do I have to specifically ask for next page token? I mean, I know in this case there wouldn't be one. But do I have to ask? Do I have to be like, hey, can you actually tell me the next page token, you piece of shit? There's just no way. There's just no way. It can't be that stupid. I like how the title is still Drive API Quick Start. At one point, this was a Drive API Quick Start. Every single time I'm creating another foo file. Oh, that's the way to test that it's actually including it. I've already created 3 of these, so if I... Here we go. This is the brilliant plan. Given that I've already made 3, if I just ask for no more than 2... It was page size, right? Yes. This is so non-resty. They should be ashamed of themselves. Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay, so it only sends the next page token if there is a next page token. Fine, that makes perfect sense. Dot result dot files, right? Yes. That ought to do it. What I want to avoid, Google Drive allows you to have 2 files with the same names because it was made by imbeciles. So I want to make sure that if there is already a file or directory with some name, that I'm using that instead of making a new file. Now, there's got to be some way to say the directory I'm looking in. Joseph, I haven't gotten into Rust enough to have an opinion on it. Honestly, given the choice between Rust and C#, I think I'd choose C#. I feel like the Rust designers missed an important part of the point, which is all of the web is made by imbeciles. Which is like the reason why garbage collection is good isn't because manual memory management is bad. It's because thinking about memory management at all sucks, and making it safe doesn't actually make it so you don't have to think about memory management. It just makes it safe. So Rust still puts that burden on the programmer. It just at least makes it safe. So it's like it's an improvement over C++, where it's not even safe, but I would prefer just to not think about it, thank you. And really, like 99% of programs are not going to be made worse by the presence of a garbage collector. It's only the really like narrow cases where you really need that. It's not even performance, it's latency, like predictability of performance, where Rust makes sense. But for those cases, I think Rust makes a lot of sense. It might be one of the most important programming languages around. Now I have to type this word. I guess I'm going to have to use a query, aren't I? Very strange. Query term operator value. Okay. Wow, the operators are like equals and not equals. How can it? Is it parent or something? Like parent? Are there the parents collection? What does that mean? What does that mean? I don't understand how it is that Google Drive managed to create a mode of file systems that doesn't resemble file systems. Or I guess I understand how. I don't understand why. Like, why were they so keen on making sure that their file system does not represent a file system in any sense? It's a really bizarre choice. Oh god, of course it is parents, because it can have multiple parents! Because of course you want to have a file in multiple directories, because why would you want your file system to look like a file system? Oh, Google. So all I really need to know is what's the ID of the root of the file system. Well, that's the thing, Joseph, is like, I like that it makes it safe, like it fixes the safety issues, but nobody wants to, like, you don't want to have to be thinking at that level in all programming. You shouldn't have that kind of burden just like constantly while programming. It's like, it's better if that burden has to be there. It's better that it be correct. But it doesn't have to be there. Okay, let's assume that that's correct. It's the ID root. I probably do need the file type, so I know that it's a directory. Okay, let's see where that gets me. Of course, it's not going to call it a directory. It's going to call it a folder. By the way, my hatred for the word folder is very, very childish, but I do vastly prefer the word directory, because it actually means what it means. Like, a directory is a directory. That's what it that's like. There's a reason they were first called directories, because they are literally directories. Whereas folder, it just comes from the icon. Like, use file folder as icon. Okay, they called folders, and it just feels really like stupid and childish. They've come to be known by their icon. What did I do? Invalid field selection type. Invalid field selection type. Wasn't there a... Oh, it was kind. It wasn't type, it was kind. I'm so confident that it was kind that I'm not even going to find where it said that in the... So, Joseph, I get your point. I understand that, like, the analogy actually works either way, but a directory is an actual description of what it is, like, mechanically, like, well, not mechanically, but digitally within the system, whereas folder is pure analogy. Like that, that's why they used that as the icon for directories. It was the right icon to use for directories, and I don't have a problem with using it as an icon. But, like, we already had a word, directory, and then somebody went, I'm going to call it folder now, and somehow that became the name forever. Why do I have so... Oh, I don't have so many things running in the background. Okay. It was not type. It was not to you. It was kind. I have to figure out why this is happening. This should not be happening. Cool. Okay, so my actual goal here is to figure out whether this directory already exists, and if it doesn't, create it. Okay, what's the kind for a directory? It's presumably folder. What? What? So the... What? So kind is useless because it's always the same string. But as a consequence, how the hell am I supposed to know that it's a folder? What? Let's... Dang it, I was going to say let's create a directory and then check. But even that's not good enough because even that's not good enough because I don't know what to look for. I guess I can look for MIME type. That feels like an insane thing to use to determine if it's a directory. I need to create a directory and see, maybe it doesn't even like list as a file. Maybe there's some other way to figure out what directories are. It's a very strange system, this here Google Drive. In fact, how do I even create a directory? There's no folders selection here. As usual, Google Drive can't be bothered to document anything, so I'll just Google for it. And by Google for it, I do mean DuckDuckGo for it. .create file metadata. Google, you're the worst! I predicted it would be MIME type. I was practically joking about that. Like, it can't be that stupid, right? Oh, no, it can. It absolutely can. How genuinely absurd. They have a vendor-specific MIME type. Like, actually madness. actually madness. I was considering making a you know what I am? I'm gonna put a string for this up here. I'm gonna save that elsewhere. I don't want to retype this shit. I always forget to use Control-O in Vim to go back where I came from. Okay, in that case, we found it. Yeah, pretty much exactly that, Joseph. It's utter insanity. But this is what you have to come to expect from Google, particularly Drive, which seems like about the worst documented piece of shit just in existence. It's like it's a piece of art. uh... And I, of course, don't know what this response is going to look like. I guess I could just, like, check. This'll say. Okay. So it should be .response.file.data.id. Maybe? Why would it be .data? That doesn't make any sense. The problem is this isn't actually the API I'm using, because they can't be bothered to document the API I'm using, because they're bastards. It is exactly this kind of thing that's why I thought maybe I just want a unified, like, file system, like, API, because they're all just utter madness. Okay, so response.result, just response.result. Okay, that makes sense. .id. Oy vey! How do I type out the longer name when I explicitly use the shorter name? I just like typing. What can I say? I wanted to type more. I just realized I didn't actually like test anything there because I didn't have any output. Oh, here's the way to test it. I'm in a separate window. I'm going to go ahead and actually check my Google Drive and see if it made the directory structure it should have. So other than 600 files named foo, non-local forage is an empty directory. Why is it an empty directory? Why is it an empty directory? Because oh no, I probably made directories called default. Yes, I did. So here I need to say that the parents, which is plural for just insane reasons. God, I love that parents is plural. That is truly amazing. Yeah. Okay, because I want it to actually be in the directory that I... The whole reason for making a directory structure was to use the directory structure. Technically, I should be worried about race conditions here, but I'm not really sure if this is a situation where race conditions particularly matter. Which is to say, I know the race condition is here. I don't know whether I care. I don't know whether the race condition actually affects anything in a way that matters. Well, now I have neither a default directory. I don't have a default directory as a subdirectory of non-local forage or not. Let me empty my trash because I did move that to trash and maybe it's like still kind of real and kind of not real until you empty your trash. I don't know. Okay, how do I empty my trash? Empty trash. Okay, good. That was just that. Now, my only concern is that for some reason I have non-local forage / default, but not non-local forage / default / default. And as far as I understand, I should have gotten both. So why didn't I get both? Yeah. Non-local forage / default / default. Pretty sure I should be getting both, right? Can I not have a directory with the same name as itself? Is there some kind of utter madness going on here? The way to test what's going on here is just to use more documentation. Created. simplest things are so difficult to do with Google Drive because it's just like so poorly documented. It's a combination of it's so poorly documented and they've just decided to like throw away 50 years of the concept of file systems and just reinvent file systems. So it did. I mean, it at least thinks it found the. Is this just like the web view of Google Drive being stupid that it can't? So it like found something. Okay, wait. I actually can see these IDs. 1F. 1S. Oh, wait! Oh, did I? Wait, no. Okay, no, that was exactly as stupid as I thought it was. I never actually used the directory here. I almost certainly have to put this in quotes. You know, sometimes it really is just as stupid as I think it is. Whee! Error, invalid value. Okay. Contains. The content of one string is present. Oh, this is just string contains. So how do I use in? I see. The parent collection contains the specified ID. Okay. Do you want to explain even remotely how to use that? I mean, it's got to just be string in parents, right? What else can it be? There we go. And I can even see it immediately in my other view of Drive. Okay, so I have non-local forage, default, really intuitive and in no way stupid name. So now, and unfortunately, this is going to be the last thing I do today, in spite of the fact that I feel like I've achieved exactly 0. I have not achieved exactly 0. Now that I have a current directory, I want that to be... I want to remember that. And then, when I'm making this file, in the metadata, I can say that its parents are this.gd_dir. And that ought to do it. And that's still not quite correct because I need to check whether the file already exists and overwrite it if it does. But it is something. And I should probably... yeah. Caching. Well, Joseph, I'm almost done anyway, so you will miss exactly nothing. Bye. If this works, then it's the last thing I'm doing today. Hey, it works! Cool. Okay, so I've got properly segmented paths and such, which is great, which is perfect, which is done. So that's it for me. Till next time, more non-local forage next time. That's it.